In the red on player 1 side, we have Alsame playing Koji. And in the blue on player 2 side, we have mathlord playing Vesper. As they are just playing out their early capture phase, do you want to go into the bans that these players did?
So the bans in order were, let me look that up. Math banned GoW4 first, then Alsame banned Caesar and Ragna, and following that, Math banned Sedge.
Sedge ban is interesting.
Yes. I'm seeing both players are have chosen to decap the village early and go meet the commander. It's, well, from what I've tested, it's not that optimal because you kind of feed a bit of groove, especially against slow groovers, but it's down to the opening details, so it's probably just personal preference in the end.
I mean, something to note is that, I'm not sure about attacking that village without knocking it down. I thought he would heal Koji off of the village on the right hand side.
Well, the thing is, Koji isn't really in danger because he's got 2 different villages where he could heal. And I suppose he just really wants to farm up groove as early as possible.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess it's just that puts the commander on quite a lot of pressure. Especially with this knight coming in after.
Well,
he can heal without being in danger of a crit, but it's still a lot of damage.
Yeah, knight is pretty standard, and if you're not careful, your CO can get killed in the opening. We've had that happen a lot. Yeah, I don't think Alsame is under too much danger here.
I mean, I guess Alsame knows how to play this situation correctly. Whereas earlier we saw a player lose a commander very, very early in the game due to being way too over-aggressive.
That's true. But I guess he was in that case he went for the village even more deep. And if I recall, it was after the heal and he got trapped, so
I think he ran in deep, didn't heal, and then ran back after he was injured and got a partial heal. And it just wasn't enough and he got killed. That's weird to think that that game was only 7 hours ago or something, and I've already forgotten some important details about it, but... Okay, so Alsame does the pretty safe option of healing his commander up.
Yep, knights are depending on how the game evolves, knights may or may not fall off on this map, I think. But they still, even if they fall off, because a bunch of pikes start appearing everywhere and golems, they still have quite a few positions where they threaten crits on multiple things on multiple sides. For example, if you look at the knight on Math's side, on mathlord side, he threatens both villages from there, so it's a good early position. Especially if the CO leaves this area early, you lose a lot of stuff.
And also, going into the mid game, they might not be that good at army versus army, but they will threaten the headquarters as well. So you can line up knight crits behind your army to basically punish if they don't defend the headquarters properly.
Yep. For example, that center forest tile in the middle. If you put a knight there, you have quite a few options to go crit the HQ. like it's an open field.
Oh, it crits the village on the left-hand side as well. So that's actually a really cool position to put a knight in. I hadn't thought of that.
There's also the fact that it also works if you knight crit to decap one of the corner villages, then you line up a knight crit on the HQ, so there's plenty of like knight plays you can do where you go somewhere and you threaten in every direction. But once the unit count starts ramping up, and it's less relevant, I guess. Killsauce is saying like dragon threatens the center a lot, but the thing is you don't want to trade a dragon for a knight that's only threatening the center.
There are some goods.
Most of the time, but
so you
like,
see,
given the option.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Continue.
go ahead. I'd say given the option, it would just be better to cover the HQ instead of like killing the knights.
I think one thing as well is it's quite easy to cover that forest with a mage. You can put a mage on the flagstone tiles, which means that they can't be attacked as easily, and they will get to the forest and have a crit condition from it. So if you attack into that forest with a dragon, for example, as long as there's enough forces to clear that forest back, the mage will just be able to run in and crit the dragon and kill it. Pretty huge.
Yep. And I guess like that's kind of one of the perks of attacking the village early without decapping it, is that you can go back and get the kill later, and overall you got more room. He did lose a village for that. But right now Alsame is a bit ahead on Groove charge. And I think in Koji Vesper it's pretty important to get Groove first.
Yeah, because I mean there's some things you can do with the bombs where if you have your bombs next to Koji, for example, it always means he has an escape path if he gets clouded. Like Smokescreen can't get that really like juicy surround. It also forces like witches to come out, because those are like the ultimate bomb counter. Maybe archers as well, but it's not. Archers aren't quite as ideal. And then like you threaten the headquarters with bombs. Bombs are one of the few things that can like punish clouds. So if you cloud a bunch of her army, you can throw bombs at it and it will deal quite a lot of damage to them.
Well, I'm also thinking that like once you get Groove as both of them, you kind of get a way stronger position, because the Groove can support like either armies. And in that sense, I'd say Vesper does more in the single turn she uses it, but Koji will always have the bombs once he gets them, and he can always get more, I guess. So there's that. I'm interested to see how it's gonna play out. I haven't seen much Koji versus Vesper.
And the thing is, well, like Alsame goes for the dragon, and that's really good as an option against basically anything, because you can throw bombs at something first and then you follow up with the dragon after, and it will do an incredible amount of damage. Just the threat of that is huge, because they have so much range between the bombs and the dragon, and you've got a knight here as well. But I'm seeing Shu make a good point in chat. This is quite a long turn from Alsame. So for as big an advantage as he has, ooh, gets a good knight crit on Vesper. deals quite a lot of damage. There isn't a spear to like threaten the counter attack. Goes for this village capture, which I think is a good choice because that means Vesper isn't at the health where she can heal or take that back. Oh, and even follows up with attacking using a sword from the mountain.
Well, this map is a bit like it can. There's a lot of different scenarios in which it can evolve because depending on where you invest more, and this is looking like one where quite a bit is invested into countering the CO bullying early phase, which is quite a bit like it's always a bit awkward in that case because the CO isn't really threatening to win the game, so he's just farming groove and trying to get economy.
Okay, that mage heal was a good idea. Keeps Vesper from... I don't think there was a lethal on the board, but he could have just continued basically just punching her in the face with his units.
Vesper gonna get groove in either the next turn if she attacks, or in 2 turns if she doesn't, so healing now means she can attack the next turn most likely. And actually, because Alsame attacked into Vesper, she's now ahead on groove. Oh, and Vesper did attack something, so he will have so she'll have groove in 2 turns.
And actually, one thing she could do, I think, which would be sensible, would be to heal first. Use this turn to heal, and then she has full health when she gets her groove up.
Well, both of these commanders don't necessarily need like to be healthy to function. Like I'd say Koji maybe a bit more because then he can attack with the bombs. But Vesper, even if she's at 1%, she can still groove and, well, unless there's something like a Koji bomb to go through the smoke, she'll stay perfectly safe.
I think the main thing that I think would be a good option though is that if Vesper's healthy, she can groove anywhere on the map. It doesn't have to be on top of herself. Whereas like if she's on low health, she essentially has to use her groove in an area where she is, otherwise like the potential counter attack will kill her.
That's true.
And
basically giving yourself more options.
I love this dragon position, by the way. There's nothing to threaten it. It can hit almost, I would say, over 50% of the map.
Oh yeah.
Got perfect range to destroy loads of things. It could almost kill the enemy tower. It can get really close to it, but there are mages covering that, so it's not the best option. But now Math has to have mages covering everything,
which is pretty good on this map too, because well, armies tend to form up pretty quickly, so, and since dragons have a lot of presence, which is also useful in countering that. If you want to play the army versus army game, dragon is more interesting if you want to go for sneaky lethals or like rushing HQ and stuff like that, because The HQ is deceptively exposed, I think.
Yeah, that was one of the first things we noticed when we were playtesting this version of the map was you can put a large amount of pressure on that headquarters, even though it's on the same side as the commander. Like once knights get into position, you have to defend it, and it becomes like very difficult to move out and be aggressive while also defending your headquarters. And because of the way the terrain's set up, so there's this mountain and these forests, those almost always, but a lot of the time they benefit the attacker more than the defender, because the defender has to put units on top of the HQ, so the attacker now has this mountain and these forests that they can attack from, getting terrain advantage from.
Yeah, and it's also like mages are pretty good on this map because of all these terrain you mentioned. Because the terrain isn't like next to buildings, it's generally like 1 square away, so the mage can crit whatever is defending. So far I'm seeing Alsame has quite a bit of income lead actually. And now that he's going in the center, it's gonna be like if he can get his entire army there, it's gonna be really difficult to move him out, especially now he's built a witch too, so
One thing I'm not entirely sure about the center position is just how much stuff can fight into it. Like, the dragon and balloon can't be touched, but the dogs can get damaged quite badly. Like, this sword on the left hand side can go down. The golem could move in and do some damage. And actually, this knight on the right hand side is completely uncontested, so... Math. Choosing not to be too bold with his movements, he's just gonna pick off one knight.
the dragon can be hit by can hit the knight actually. Oh, not anymore, I guess.
I think the mages are gonna move up, and we'll probably see a witch come out just to respond to the enemy witch. Yep, there it is.
But forcing Math to build a witch when he's down on income like this takes away quite a bit from his ability to build more mages and stuff like that.
Yeah, he has to go for 2 cheaper racked builds, but he does have 4 mages. Wait, 1, 2, 3. 3 mages, sorry. So, that along with the witch, I think that's plenty. Whereas Alsame doesn't have much in the way of like beefy units now. He has like a bunch of spears, swords and some dogs. But the dragon is really the only thing that's got quite a lot of damage to it. There's one mage behind him. I'm math ending on like a bit more of a unit lead than we'd normally see, but well, it all comes down to how Alsame's going to respond to this.
Well, Alsame did sacrifice his sword to decap a village, which was going to be recapped the turn right afterwards. Yeah, there's good anti-air coverage right now, so the dragon doesn't have that many options.
Guess the main thing would be like injure the knight on the right hand side and move a spear over to cover it. Because it's easy enough to block that mage in the top.
Yeah, that would work, most likely.
Anywhere else on the map, that dragon is not going to get much value. There's just simply too many mages and that witch to cover them.
Well, since there's I'm not sure if Math is gonna Vesper Groove this turn if Alsame retreats. Because right now he could put quite a bit of pressure on the HQ, but I don't think he'd find a lethal with it. And
Alsame, after waiting about a minute, or almost a minute, has decided to start moving like the more obvious movements first. This is an awkward position. Like, you could try and just barrel into them and do as much damage as possible. But
yeah, but that would be pretty dangerous because since Vesper Groove is on the table, you only need to kill you only need to get units around the CO to guarantee a kill next turn. And if the CO isn't really part of the push, it's gonna be significantly weaker because, well, quite a few units can't quite reach yet. Like there's 2 pikes on the right, most importantly, that are torn between defending the right from the knight or going more center to help with the control there. So I don't really know how he's gonna push for an advantage. Because anywhere I see where he could attack besides the knight on the right would be kind of questionable. Oh, there we go.
okay, actually, I don't think he's gonna go for it now. But I think there was like a potential for some lethal here. But it would have.
I don't think there's enough units in range of Vesper for that.
Yeah, I think the commander's just like slightly out of position. Well, I do think there is like an option to do a lot of damage around her. Like that dragon could have killed the sword underneath the mage, and then the dog could have run up and hit. Dogs do like a decent amount to mages. That would have done like 55 damage, so the dragon would get hit in response. Oh, actually no, wait, the full health mage can cover that too. Never mind.
I mean, he basically took 2 dogs, and he's gonna lose 1 in return for sure. The thing is, if he falls back from the center right now, like Math has just the option to like do an all-out push against like the forces around the HQ and then just cover the counterattack with Vesper Groove. And what are you gonna do about it? Whereas Alsame is quite further away from threatening the HQ.
Ooh, we got gold.
And yeah, Golem comes out because I think he's gonna have to. Well, we'll see if he falls back to defend his HQ. But the center position has a very strong. Well, it's very strong where you can both like pick off villages and build up income, and you can also just go for the HQ push. And his only balloon is kind of in the center, so he's not really going to be able to bring builds from the left barracks to the right. It seems like he retreats, kind of, but not too much.
Yeah, he's pulled back a little bit. I guess, like, so long as his commander's next to a village, he kind of has an escape route as well.
I think he attacked the knight there to prevent it from going through the village and hitting Koji from the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, the knight does have a lot of presence on the map where it can threaten villages, and that also means that it can't threaten the HQ anymore, which is a pretty big deal. If it was on more health, it could find a position and then threaten. Or you could position it under a smoke cloud and it would just be able to essentially punch through.
Well, it's like what I've mentioned earlier, like it can go on the road below a village near the center and have a crit there, and so he could reinforce and threaten the crit at the same time. Koji is about to get groove, so that will help with the defense in well, in 2 turns when he gets them. And yeah, knights are positioning to crit the HQ.
That one
or
isn't quite
well,
in position
stuff
though.
that's around it, yeah.
Oh, it couldn't quite reach a position where it would. Although I'm not sure about that knight position, because a pike can run up and hit it now.
I think the knight couldn't really escape the pike's range without going like behind the corner village. So I guess he's going he's just taking the strongest position he can, because this way the pike still has to expose itself to attack it, and if it doesn't attack, well, the knight has a strong position. So still think probably could have hid it behind the corner village.
What could happen here though is the golem could move, decap that village, and the soldier could cap it from above, which keeps the knight from being hit. And you can't get, like, the worst that's going to happen is a pike crit will hit the sword. But then you have 2 pikes that are kind of just next to a golem, and one of them has to sit on the road to do that, so it will get just kind of squashed in return. The people asking in chat, Koji will get groove next turn, regardless of anything else that happens. Or I guess at the end of his next turn, I should say.
Yeah, if Math for some reason attacks into Koji, he'll get groove well, before the end of his next turn. Well, Alsame has fortified his position. I'm surprised we haven't seen any archers yet, but I guess it has mostly to do with the army composition not having too many pikes and being more like dogs, knights, and a few golems.
Math goes for that village capture. Takes it back, positions the mage, so... Oh, that's smart as well, the dragon can't run in and get a free hit on the knight. Or the golem, so that mage now covers the whole right side. You will need
taking
something...
the income lead after that, actually.
Pardon?
Math took a slight income lead after that, actually.
He still has the option to capture the left village as well, depending on how he deals with that dog.
Yeah, that's a position I really like for the witch, or like anything that you want to protect from air units. Because on the left there's flagstones, and so no air units can go there. On the bottom, the village is yours, so only you can cross it, so you really only have to cover one side.
Yeah, and that sword being on the mountain as well means that it's very difficult to get past there too. Math, realizing that he still has like a good 5-minute lead on things you can do this turn, so no rush. That being said, we have had a game where someone with the 5-minute lead ended up losing on time, so
The infamous. Well, if this was any other, if Math was playing another commander aside from Vesper and Ryota, I wouldn't really like this hit from the left on the dog, because you're kind of moving away from a big part of your army that's like with the golem up there. But since Vesper has global range, it's not that bad of an option.
yeah, she isn't a sedge which needs to kind of stay with the army. She's very much a... She can be anywhere on the map, in effect. Is part of what makes her so strong. Very curious about if he's actually going to try and kill this pike. I think the sword can do it at this point. Might be a very, very high roll though.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's guaranteed.
Oh, goes for it and gets it. Math ends that turn on an income lead and a bigger unit lead, so he's got 3 units more.
Oh yeah, it needed quite a bit of high roll to kill the spear, actually. I mean, Math basically has pressure everywhere, and he also has time advantage, so well, if he keeps up the pressure everywhere and keeps up the time how it is right now, he's most likely gonna win. So I guess Alsame is now under a bit of pressure to make something happen, but that's gonna be quite difficult in his current position.
Yeah, he really needed bombs at this point. They would have so much damage potential in this match right now, actually. You'd hit the mage, the sword, and the golem. Weaken those. You could hit this mage in this village to decap it. So he just needs to hold on for another turn. Try not to lose more stuff, because he really is in a position where he can't do a huge punish on units pushing in.
I think right now Koji bombs are less about the, well, the raw damage is still nice, but they are really more about how you can fill up holes in and body block stuff while you're trading.
Ooh, goes for damage on the mage.
Yeah, that might be smart because mages are kind of far apart, but he'd have to cover the dragon with the witch too. So I'm not sure that's really. So I'm not sure if it's more of a in the sake of getting a cost-efficient trade, or if he just, or if he wants to go for something with his dragon. Oh. Hitting the mage with the dragon.
I think that's a decent trade, especially because the witch hex came out first. The dragon takes quite a bit of damage, but you've now weakened the mage, and like the other mage is also quite weak as well. So the anti-air on the map is not what it was. And he's gonna have bombs next turn as well, so. And actually, because of this village escape path on the right, he has.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's a surround potential right now. I'm not seeing it right now, especially for the bottom.
Yeah, he's got the balloon there as well.
Now it's quite dangerous though to just leave the HQ like that, especially against Vesper.
Oh, and finishes off that second mage. That's really good actually, because the big problem you could have run into was one mage heals the other mage, and you get like a mage crit off the forest onto the balloon or something like that.
I think Alsame left his HQ pretty exposed. Like, he's not afraid of Vesper. That's pretty. That's dangerous.
Oh, he could kill that golem. Math could, because if he takes the village down, he gets a night crit on the golem and like follow up from his own golem. And there's like a witch hex in there as well, so.
That's true, but I think if the witch goes right, he runs into the problem of the dragon and Koji bombs could then pressure the HQ too. But it's still, I mean, Vesper versus Koji in a base rush trade like that is quite interesting because, well, Koji has more damage and Vesper is like quite notorious for just putting troops in front of your HQ and then smoking.
And actually, the other thing is, I don't even know if you'd need to smoke. Well, you wouldn't need to smoke the enemy HQ. You could just, Math could pull back, even put a smoke cloud on his own army and just rush everything to the right. I don't know if there's like enough on this right hand side to stop an army that does that.
What I'm thinking he could do is like, well, he could like run up and hit the HQ with the golem, have the mage take the spot on his left, maybe decap the village, and then he'd basically have a pretty free path to night crit the HQ next turn, and the only thing he'd have to find is like one spot for one attack, and night crit plus anything else really would finish it off.
I guess like the big thorn in the side of that plan though is that Koji bombs could come in and like kill anything that's under smoke.
Mm.
Okay, so he goes for the witch. I
Yeah,
think
but the thing is, like, it's not about killing what's about to hit the HQ. It's about covering the path that for the knights to crit the HQ, I think.
oh, he
Oh.
seems content to just kill everything around the headquarters.
It's probably pretty smart because this way he has an easier access to two sides. Shu is saying Alsame probably can't kill the HQ from his game state. And I mean, I kind of agree because he can't one turn it from here, and anything that approaches it would be punished pretty hard. Yeah, I think we're seeing a Vesper cloud formation.
Yep, very much.
With the knight ready to. The knight isn't in crit range of the HQ actually.
Is not. But it is in crit range of that golem. Oh, it doesn't use cloud. I guess there's not a huge amount that can really damage this front, so...
Oh, mage on a road might be a bit...
the other mage does cover
actually
it.
it should
so.
be fine, yeah. I think he could just like place a few units in front of his HQ just to be safe. But
Yeah, I think
not
like,
sure it's even necessary.
I think the two dogs should be in front.
He could also just kill that sword in the forest and... But I guess he's probably just going to cover it. A knight did come out from Alsame to... But it's probably gonna reach only in 3 turns or something. So I think the knight is probably too slow of a play. Maybe it can hit something protecting the HQ, but I see Chad is talking about having the dragon hit the HQ and then witch and bombs surrounding it. But I still think that Math has the advantage here because Alsame's HQ is probably gonna fall soon with all the units he put there. And if he just needs to buy himself one more turn, he can always use Groove on his HQ. It won't cover the bombs damage, but it's still an option.
So now comes, how does Alsame defend his headquarters? Immediate heal on the golem and the spear. He's only got 6 minutes left, so he needs to do this defense pretty quickly.
I'm tougher than you think.
Okay, bombs coming out was fairly obviously going to happen.
Question is this: are they going to blow up or just take up space? The witch could like the golem could just move and have a bomb take the place of the golem, and it would basically be unkillable.
Oh yeah, there is a witch there. The defense. So this is the other really cool thing about Koji, is that like if you put a witch next to your bombs, then they effectively become anti-witch walls. So he's setting up a really nice defense here. The one issue I have with this is that it means he's still well behind on income.
He's also running low on time.
Yep.
And
he
I'm not
is.
sure, I'm not sure if 5 minutes is going to be enough to have anything to be able to threaten the HQ from this game state.
Yeah, he really needs to set up some kind of kill on the enemy commander, or I think that's really it actually. He just needs to be able to kill the enemy commander because the headquarters is quite a bit defended. I guess the other option is like he gets the dragon and the knight set up. We're 11 turns in and we finally see an archer come out. And actually looking at time, math's pretty low on it as well. They've both been playing this quite slowly. From what I've heard and understand, they both play blitz sometimes as well. So they might just like activate blitz mode in their head and just start playing incredibly quickly.
Start spamming dragons and golems.
If it works, it works. So
I think Math is considering going for the HQ at this point, I suppose.
you could definitely throw Cloud down and just start wailing on it. Alright, takes the bomb down to 50% health.
I think the witch is probably gonna die next turn unless gets a pretty good roll on the HQ. Yeah, pretty good roll. I think he's probably gonna set up a night crit and then have the smoke clouds to cover the path and the units.
Yeah, that would be ideal. Gets the heal, so he has a full health army here.
I'm thinking whether or not he needs to smoke her, but he's probably going to. Looking at the shape of his units.
Smoke
Yep,
and
here it
shadows.
comes. And yeah, that army is now completely safe. Aside from the bombs. But he has to burn them to detonate. Or burn them to clear out anything on this. So
I don't think Alsame's HQ is going to fall next turn. Oh, hang on, another knight is coming. But it's not in crit range because there's a mountain we can't really see well because of the smoke.
that isn't it.
Heals the bomb. Probably gonna replace with another bomb.
Yep, just using them as a wall right now.
Or he could also have the witch hit the witch with an archer too.
That hex.
Using the witch hex to go through the smoke, I guess. I mean, two sides are still pretty well covered, and
Where's the heal
There's-
down because why not at this point?
there is still very little time left.
Yeah, it might come to a timeout, but they are both players capable of playing their turns very quickly, so let's see what comes out of that. Goes for the hex. I mean, that does a lot of damage. The Decent roll on the HQ.
Knight into pikeman. Why not? Yeah, Math is playing. He's just playing fast, not moving half of his army. And well, while Alsame does have a lot of units there, he's gonna have to move them all, so... Curious, I don't think... well, the thing is, Alsame has to play to kill these units in front of his HQ, where Math just has to pressure the HQ. And once the army over there is going to be dead, Alsame won't really have any win condition anywhere close, so...
Oh,
that
he's
might
getting good
be
rolls
an
on those
issue.
archers too. Golem lives, barely, but
Could have
actually a
sent
bomb
a
could come in
bomb,
and just
but
finish it
yeah.
off.
Oh, another golem, I guess.
Oh. His knight has
Yeah,
a
we're
crit
gonna
condition.
see bombs blocking both sides. But I think, like... Alsame still spent, like, maybe 2 or 3 minutes on this turn. And...
I think he spent a whole minute there, but he did just kind of kill an entire army, or put it in a position where it would get killed. Ooh, there was a big crit from that mage on...
yeah, we see the dragons come out.
But that really was a failed HQ push. And there's still
I
two
think
Koji bombs up.
I still like to think it was more about pressuring the HQ to have Alsame spend time more than anything. And he hit the bomb again so that there wouldn't be too much of an easy block, I guess. Alsame really likes to go back and just heal his bombs.
Guess it makes sense. There, he just needs to play fast.
You bet. It's like 1 minute 40 on the clock. I'm not sure it's enough time to simply move units towards the HQ and kill stuff in front of it if Math just decides to end all his turns. Yep, just like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're seeing like this seems to be the strategy you have to go for when you're up on time and the enemy has to, and you need to will down at the enemy's last bit of timer, is just send dragons at either the HQ or the CM. And healing with a mage in that case actually works a bit against you because timer doesn't stop while the animation is going on. So yeah, there's just gonna be a constant stream of dragons going over there. And Alsame is going to have to constantly deal with it, so I think we're seeing the end of the game.
He could have killed one of them quite quickly last turn. He had a mage crit condition that could have happened, but...
Witches are kind of interesting because yeah, you do need witches to take out the air units that are gonna block around the HQ. This is a funny end game meta, I'd say.
Sparrow bombs! Hup! Yeah!
Oh, here comes more sparrow bombs. Yeah, we saw the dragon spam to pressure, the witch spam to respond, and I mean, Alsame had like 40 seconds left, so moving Vesper back, I kinda like it. This way
Yeah.
there won't be like witches and bombs.
Alsame
Just
definitely
lining.
has done 10 witch hex before. Not 10, he's definitely done a lot though. Of that.
Yeah, and gold can stockpile quite fast when you're just ending your turns. Oh, bomb is getting a double mage hit, witch hit.
There isn't a defending witch anymore though. So he could kill his witches quite easily and move his current witches forward. And Vesper's just fleeing.
I don't think Alsame would have enough time to just use 10 witch hexes by now. Like straight up from the animation. Definitely a different kind of play.
I'm very curious to see if he's actually going to be able to push. Take out the enemy in time.
Is this really the time to start farming for more bombs?
No, he doesn't have enough time.
Yeah, this is pretty over.
And this is the cost of those, I can't actually remember. He took quite a long time on some of
And
his
there we
early
go.
turns. Yeah, and there we go. Saw me out on time. Some of those turns earlier was like 4 minutes, which you really can't be going for.
Yeah, but I guess the reverse of that is that if you're too scared of it not happening, well, you'll end up making a mistake. And in some game states, like sometimes taking 3 or 4 minutes can be worth it because if you make some small mistakes and you don't take the time to really think through, well, you can lose before timer becomes an issue. So
Very true. But Math played that one a bit faster. Takes the win, so good game to Mathlords, or Master of Math as he is known on the Discords and on the Smash GG page.